Hello, and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hi, hello, how are my lovelies, my beauties, my royalty? Let's get that scorching hot, boiling hot, petty tea out. If you like it cold, just hold the ice. Yeah, yes, still don't really hear too much about them now, which means we probably need to be more careful than normal. Yeah, but if you know where they are, if put it down the messages and everything. Yeah. And if you don't know, I am the handicapable black woman. I spill my petty tea about my life as a black person, a woman, and one who has a disability, as a black woman, as a woman with a disability, as a black woman with a disability, like basically all like because sometimes the story only has emphasis on one part of my identity. Sometimes it's two, sometimes it's all three. It depends on the situation and the bigotry and the injustice and the political atmosphere within this country. Yeah. But I talk about dating, river of racism, and politics, true crime, and how it is being undiagnosed, especially within our medical system. Is like a lot of people don't know the injustices that black people face in the healthcare system. And I am a product of that because doctors for decades did not believe me to the point where now my condition is worse than, well, yeah, it is. Like, because, yeah, I should have been getting treatments and things since birth. Since birth. But and then something else was wrong, and I would tell them about that situation too. And now I'm paying the consequence for them ignoring me, them not paying attention to me, them just being absolute awful terrible bigots. But if you haven't listened to any specifically, because I'm going to do more medical nightmare ones, especially about this one. I have so many stories on this one doctor. But if you've been listening, you already know about when I was working promotions and about the bloody socks, about like me having to just I had to do what I had to do in order to try not to be in pain, or sometimes just pray for the black baby Jesus and everything. But listen to the George Cirilli, Dr. George Cirilli episode. Yeah, because he is a prime example of how I ended up not being diagnosed for so long. So, and if you want some petty tea, check out my Patreon. Some are free, but like $2 and $4. It's like, but yeah, I don't really have anything on the $4 one yet. I will soon. But yeah, so $2 you get to see real life screenshots of these men calling me the N word and Jim Crow and the P word, the C word, the B word, element like the whole alphabet of words, and calling me garbage and all types of stuff just because on my dating app in my profile I listed out standards. But they had no problem, especially these Republican white men, the colonizer men. They had no problem trying to blame me, put me down, and everything. But it's really crazy how now we have Comey with another case against him because of words and freedom of speech and everything, even though the orange man had said that the only good Democrat is a unalive Democrat. But yeah, and it's like with all of the terrible threats that I have gotten from men, I'm like, okay, so with some of these Republicans, some of them need to have justice against them. And like I said, I have the screenshots, I have the evidence, I have the proof, I have the receipts, baby. And so I'm going to be talking about this one video that I listened to because it's like, it might even bring up some things about yesteryear. I still haven't read the book, but I've been studying, researching, looking up things, and even I listened to, I believe it was almost a 2 hour interview with like a YouTuber and the author, and it was really, really like riveting. It was really good. But the a lot of the people in this video that I'm talking about today kind of remind me of the type that would be in yesteryear, or at least be in the church of yesteryear, and how a lot of Christians don't think they can be the villains, but the Christians in this video are the types of Christians that a lot of like that basically voted Republican, that basically said all lives matter. And some of them are promoting or trying to say, let's bring lynching back. And they are against the Crown Act. And okay, yeah, let me just, let me just start spilling some tea. Because first, like either before or after watch the video that I'm talking about. And for one, I do have to say thank you to the young lady that posted this video, because more people need to see the truth of what's going on in a lot of these families, and they need to see what Black people go through and face, because it's like, yeah, these types of colonizing people, those are the type of people we run into all the time. So when colonizers who don't go to that level, or to underground railroad people who are a little ignorant with what we face, like some of each say there's no more racism, get over it, they need to meet like these families. And if they know these families, then they really just don't know what racism is. But it's like listening to it, it's like the mom was praying in tongues. Oh, like, and I'm from the church. I'm still Christian, but more spiritual, because I'm no longer brainwashed. But I've seen this before, where the mom's not getting what she wants. And so she's going to just start praying in tongues because she thinks that's going to shut you up. That's going to give her exactly, like, she was like, you're going to give me attention. You're going to give me what I want and demand. It's like, because my mom did that with me. So I was like, I know the talking in tongues games. Yeah, I know that game very well. Yeah. And, oh, watch the episode where I was talking about getting my real estate license. Yeah. And you know what? It kind of works, because, yeah, that time it did work. But it was because she traumatized me so much with the talking in tongues and watching documentaries about real estate agents getting eliminated on the job. Yeah, she forced me to watch a documentary with that. Yeah, while praying in tongues. Yeah, So yeah, when it comes to the whole praying in tongues game, I know about that. But instead of being like having family time, sitting down, like talking and relating and like just discussing, like the brothers kept cutting her off, wouldn't let her finish, and changing the subject, gaslighting her and belittling her, or altering and changing their answers. That reminds me a lot about Mr. No Heart and his family, especially Mr. No Heart. Because at the end of our relationship, when I broke up with him, he was twisting anything and everything, especially the part where, if you guys have been listening, you already know the drill. But March, I, like, after my surgery and after he still refused to call me, even though like the last 2 or 3 years, I kept asking him, can you please call me? And not just call me when you need money, when you need my body or my car or anything of me or any property or whatever. Call me. Can you just call me to call me? It's like, especially my mom was fighting cancer and everything like that. So I was like, I call you And it's sometimes it's to check on, well, majority of the times I'm checking on you, seeing how you are, seeing how the girls are, seeing like just, and sometimes it was like, oh, I'm about to go to the store. Are you going to need anything? Yeah. It's like, but when he called, oh, I need some money. Oh, I want your car. Oh, do you have any money? I need gas, and stuff like that. But I say that because, like, when I didn't call, like, when I, like, after my surgery and realizing he's never going to call me, I'm tired of this. 7 years with this no good fool. And I have to deal with his racist family, his bigoted, like, this is all in my opinion, but I have receipts and stuff. Yeah. And also, like, if they ever even tried to come at me, I would be like, what part is not true? Like, if they put you on the stand, are you actually going to lie? Because, like, for one, my ex, it's like, it didn't, there's some parts where I'm still digesting and still trying to figure out what happened. But then there's other parts where I'm just like, huh. In some ways, like, well, I mean, I saw some racism near the end of the relationship, especially when he would say like the grape soda jokes. And there were a few other jokes and jokes that he would talk about the neighbors across the street. And sometimes when I'm just like, those neighbors are the ones that helped you. Like, there were some situations, especially with the vehicle and different things like that. And I'm just like, those neighbors helped you. They've had your back. And like with his mom, oh my gosh, every time I had to deal with her. Oh, look, this is Candace Owens. She says there's no more racism, so you need to get over that. It's like you just need to get over this whole topic because, yeah, there's no more racism. You need to, yeah, give me your phone. Yeah, you need to follow her. And she would never press the subscribe because she knew that I'd probably tell her off. But she would get to the page and be like, see, subscribe is right there. There's the subscribe button. Yep, see it. And I just not, yeah, I'm not, yeah, I subscribed plenty of other times. Yes, I know where it is. And then she would play one black country artist after another black country artist after another black country artist, which, oh yeah, it's like, I need to find this video. But I just saw a video and it's like I was gonna watch it, but then I watched the one I'm talking about right now. But they had the American country artist concert, and they said it was basically like a mega concert. And I'm just like, knew it, called it. Because for like quite a few years, like, there's been some people who were like, oh yeah, I love country music. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really a fan. Like Dolly Parton, yeah, but other than her, yeah, I don't really. It's like Beyonce, she did her thing, and I can listen to a couple of her the country songs here and there, but with a lot of space in between. Because, yeah, I'm not a country, like, that's not my type of music. And oh my gosh, and oh, I've even had people try to call me racist because I don't like country music. And Republicans try to call me racist because I won't date anybody on the right. But I'm like, how is that racism? It's like maybe like musicism, but there's no such thing as musicism. And there's some people who will not listen to rap music or R&B or like metal or rock or anything like that because that's not their genre. That's not their type. And I listen to all different types of music. I just can't really, yeah, like I said, like Dolly is literally like one of the only country artists. And I think one reason is like she has little soul in her. Because if you listen to some of the music she has and the people who bought the songs and recreated them, like Whitney Houston, it's just like she has the way that she writes the music is very unique and compared to other country artists, whatever. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Okay, moving on. But yeah, Mrs. No, like Mrs. Masher, she would just, oh, look at this artist. See, they're black. Look at this. And she thought it was a race thing. I don't care for majority of country music. Just because they're black doesn't mean I'm gonna listen to them. And she just kept showing her racist, no good, stupid, bigoted views because over and over again, look, this is a black Republican. This is a black country artist. This is a black, like almost every, and then even on the news, which she would watch Fox News like nobody's business. It's like whenever there was a black criminal, oh, I'm so glad you're not one of them. Oh, well, look who it is again. It's one of them. Or when, like, sometimes when, like, a bunch of black people end up being a hot mess in the middle of the street in fights or whatever. This is the problem with this country. They are out of control. They just don't know how to behave themselves. Okay, but what about when some of these, like, sports wins the championships? You just don't see black people out on the street, do you? Majority of the people are white. But and also January 6th, you didn't really see many black people. They wanted to lynch the vice president like he was, but yeah, that's a different story. But yeah, we saw a bunch of white people. Yeah. But yeah, they didn't really, it's like, I think that's one reason why they really want to tone that down and not talk about it. And then also the school shootings. Yeah. But yeah, they don't really want to talk about, they want to talk about, well, I'll drop that. I'll save that for a different day. But listening to this family and how they were talking about the Bible and God really like made me think about yesteryear and that like the church and everything and how they were just acting like, oh, I'm not racist, even though they're saying and doing racist things. They're saying they can't be racist because they're Christian. But then listen to a lot of these Christian pastors and some of the things that they've said in the church. Remember, I think there's the one with the LGBTQ issue was in Ohio, I think, because he's the one that said that all of the LGBTQ community should be unalived. And then there were some, oh yeah, there's that one jerk. He talks about how it's like slavery wasn't bad because it was in the Bible. And now I'm hearing more and more Republicans. Even there was that one Asian Republican woman. I want to say Taiwan. I forgot which, like, yeah, I'm my bad. This was about 3 weeks ago. I talked about her. 3 weeks or a month, something like that. But yeah, she's a congressperson. Yeah, and she was at the mic and talking about how slavery wasn't bad because it was in the Bible and stuff. And don't forget about United Nations vote on like the issue of slavery and everything. And I partially think it's because yeah, America wants to make sure they don't pay a dime in reparations. But yeah, I believe 3 countries voted no, including the United States. Embarrassing. But it's like they know, like, and then a lot of Christians or white Christians, because it's really crazy too how when people talk about the church and when people say the black church, and then white people say, oh, that's racist. No, it's not. If you don't know the history of the church and the teachings inside the church and the cultures within the church, there's a difference. There's a difference. Especially with how long we end up in church. Yeah, can I get an amen, black folks? Yep. Yeah, sometimes it feels like a slumber party, but anyway. It's I listening to that video, it was just it wasn't shocking, but it was horrifying. But at the same time, it was kind of a relief because it's like See, black people have been saying this all this time. We keep bumping into racist people like this all this time, but people keep saying we're lying, we're making it up. But then a lot of the people who are saying we're lying and making it up are the racist people, but they don't want everyone else to know that they're racist, or that they don't want people to know that there is still racism in their area, neighborhood, or anything like that. And especially within the church. The white churches, the white churches, there is a bunch of racism in the white churches. And I'm not going to say black churches are perfect because, look at my Republican voting black bishop. Yeah. Uh huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like when he had the nerve to say the orange man isn't racist. I knew, it's like, and that's one reason why, like, I started looking for other pastors and bishops, because I'm like, if you have the nerve to lie like that, it's like, thou shalt not lie is in the Bible, but for some reason you have the nerve to lie like that. And now our country's to the point where one of the government words that you cannot say is black. And then I was like, I'm going to keep repeating this because so many people keep forgetting, or they don't know, they didn't hear, or a lot of other news like stations refuse to let people know that with the farmers meeting, the national farmers meeting, the only two black farmers that are usually going to these things were told that they were not allowed to go because if they went, it would be DEI. All of the other farmers were white. The only two black farmers were told they could not go. And then we also have to look at even the environmental racism, the Cancer Belt in Louisiana. The orange man appointed judge denied the case because, like, in some areas, especially like around Louisiana, near these very like polluted factories, the chance of getting cancer and similar sicknesses is like over 3 times. I think it's close to 10 times actually. I haven't, like, it's been like a year since I've read the articles, but people are not able to buy a new home because they can't, no one will buy their current home. So now they're stuck in the homes where they're getting sick. And then some of them are not able to get good insurance. And so if you can't have good insurance to get the good medicine and things like that, a lot of their, like, they're basically waiting for their end day at their house. And then we can't forget about, like, some of the, well, you know what? I'll say that for, I don't know, there's just so much of history that black people are still affected by. Because even with the Crown Act, yeah, okay, I'll go with that one. It's like we're still fighting for our natural hair. We're still fighting to be able, like, because with most Caucasian people, they'll brush their hair, they'll do a little something, whatever, but their hair is close to their, like, unless they don't want it to be, like, unless they want to dye it and things like that. But with African American hair, it's like for us to work or be looked at as professional or seen as beautiful, they want our black hair to now look like a nationality that's not natural to us. They don't want our afros and our braids and our dreads and, like, anything like that. They think it's unattractive. They think it's unkept. And mm, my ex's Mr. No Heart's roommate told me that, like, one time when I had my afro out, and it was kind of repulsive because, and he's kind of racist too. It's like some, like, it was even around 2016 when there were so many issues being brought up about the police and black people, and the police eliminating people right in their car, the black person's car, whatever. He was just saying that's their issue, that's their problem. They need to behave. They need to, yeah. But I don't know, it's just kind of crazy how, like, some people are kind of slowly waking up, but then some people are, they're still saying that our country is, it's not as bad. It just looks bad, but it's not really that bad. And, or, oh, like the whole, I've dated black people, I have black friends. That does not, Mrs. Masher dated a black guy, but I just think she wanted that eggplant, honestly. But because, like, the way she talks about, the way she taught, well, she probably does talk about me in the worst ways. And yeah, because I've said it so many times, and I was trying not to do it this episode, but I will, because the first night I met her, the very first night I met her, the only reason you got into college is because you're black. That was one of the first things she said to me. And it was crazy because when, while I'm dating him, because at the beginning we weren't dating, we were just friends. And then I realized after my surgery at like during COVID that the only, no, I think, no, it was a couple years after COVID, but the only reason my ex asked me to be his girlfriend was that he wanted to make sure his ex-wife was jealous. And I'm gonna have a whole episode on that because men keep doing that with me. And I just watched a video on Facebook where it was like, it was a mini episode or whatever, or a short clip where these two girls' voices are talking, and the one girl's like, "You're single, but you're beautiful, you're educated, you're this, you're that, or whatever," and the other girl's like, "Oh, I'm overqualified." And I'm not saying I'm overqualified because, yeah, if you've been listening to my 700 episodes, you already know, like, undiagnosed disability. So now I'm relearning my life, trying to get my life back together. All of the crazy pieces that's going on it's just frustrating. But at the same time, a lot of guys end up contacting me again or calling me again, or with the relationship they end up trying to date me because next thing I know they have absolutely awful, terrible, frustrated ex-wives and ex-girlfriends trying to attack and bully me, and I will not take that anymore. And that's one reason why, ooh, babies, yeah, you need to go back to, yeah, oh yeah, when the episode where I talk about Rebecca, yes, I'm Patty. Yeah, she's I don't have anything nice to say about her. At the end of the day, racism comes in all different forms and angles. It comes from enemies, so-called friends who they look down on you when they're away from you, but then they want to smile up in your face because they want to be able to gain or accept or obtain part of your culture in one way or another, or even from the church. Who there is racism within the religious, like, culture, and then politically there is so much racism. They want to deny, but they can't. They hate us so much that you now cannot say black. And then the RFK Jr. thing. Oh, baby, yeah, I need to do another, like, health medical episode because the interview. Ooh, what he said about black kids, and then even with black women and maternity and everything like that. Ooh, that, yeah, yeah. But racism is everywhere. And black people, we know this because we live it every day, every single day. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.